I'm going to show you some interesting things and you're going to like it. We are preparing for the rest of this bull market. The global liquidity cycle still continuing. The business ISM has dumped us down. But remember, Bitcoin and its prices front run the business ISM, my friends. The business ISM is from last month. Okay? So the Bitcoin price action, it is the clue as to where we are going next. But what about Ethereum? They say, what about Ethereum? I'll tell you about Ethereum. We're going to play this clip, friends. I recorded this for you for a while ago. Now, remember, 1, you're my friend. 2, pointy elbows. 3, Kain on the right-hand side. He's the Synthetix founder, okay? One of like the OG DeFi guys creating stuff on Ethereum. And left, we have Randy Boo from Crypto Banter, okay? It's just some interesting stuff has been said in this interview. What you and I are going to do, we're going to watch it, and then we'll go through it now. Check it out. It's going to be on Ethereum. Let's go.
The existential crisis in ETH.
Yes.
Can it be resolved? Just
It can. It can. I think ETH can make a comeback.
tell me how or why.
So I think we're at a moment now where people have realized that the roll-up centric roadmap has not worked, right? And so the question is, are we pivoting away from that? And I think the reality is that there is now momentum towards scaling L1. And if we scale L1, Ethereum can become competitive again.
But if you're going to scale the L1, why not just go to Solana?
Well, it's a question of individual developers, right? What does an individual developer do? And there are still an order of magnitude or more Solidity engineers than there are Rust engineers, right? And so the developer ecosystem in Ethereum is much bigger, and there is a high cost to moving to Solana if you're already in the Ethereum ecosystem.
How long?
So we're going to go through the rest of it now. So as you notice, friends, so bullish on Ethereum. Now we know this, man, because Ethereum has just gone so far down for a long time, especially with this ETH BTC that's cucked us for a long time, right? It's just like ETH BTC, friends, peaked at 0.089 back in 2021, and then it dropped all the way down, like, you know, down 80%. Man, after a long time, just straight down. It's very, very sad. You know, it actually peaked higher in 2017. I'm actually being nice to Ethereum. It almost flipped Bitcoin. So it actually, this is the real number out here. So I'm just assuming these people just aren't holding anymore. Clearly, there are a lot of people still holding from back here, and it's down. So what do? Well, Ethereum, friends, you got to remember, I told you, even though they look like soy boy, soy girl, World Economic Forum bug eaters, in the background, no one wants to be a loser. So they see Solana eating their lunch. They see the fast wallet experience. They see all these things. But when you have like rabid dogs like you and me who are just putting these like flashy things in their head saying, fix it, Ethereum, fix it. They don't respond because they see us like children, friends. That's how Vitalik sees us, like which we are, because a 4,000 IQ alien. We are literally children. So they don't want to reward us with the satisfaction that we got to them in terms of, oh, you're responding to me if I just yell loud enough. They don't operate like that. They operate differently. Okay, they're not the Bronze Age strongman Donald Trump style. Okay, make memes great again. They are, you know, their own way, which is, you know, okay, I hear you. I'm going to go back now. I'm going to think about it for 4 weeks. And then when you've calmed down, I'll drop something to you, which is exactly what Ethereum's done. Ethereum's talked about, we've got to scale layer 1, more gas limits now, more focus on that. You have the pec muscles upgrade. Pec, you know what I mean? The pec muscles upgrade for Ethereum out here, where they're like simplifying the transactions, also making it faster. Okay, so Kain's going to allude to that more. So all of these things are happening, but it's also interesting in this in this discussion, right? That I've got this snippet here for you. That's why you like and subscribe to me. Highest value content in crypto. Okay. Also, there's this like sly admission of failure, saying, "Oh yeah, the layer 2s suck," which is interesting because the founder of Pulse Chain, Greg the Duck, okay, also goes by the name Richard Hart. He's basically doing a lot of essays saying, Vitalik, get off layer 2s. They're trash. You're getting cocked. Right? He was saying that over and over and over again. Which also, if you remember, when was that happening, friends? As Ethereum's monthly candle was getting pooped, which, you know, been getting pooped over and over again. So remember Richard, that's why it also ties into the pDAI stuff a bit, because when Richard was talking to Vitalik like this, Ethereum was sinking down. It was reversing 3 red months in a row, right? So think about it. So he started doing this. In February, friends, that's when Richard was like, Vitalik, you got to fix your crappy layer 2s, bro. That's when I thought, hey, Richard's offside in Ethereum. Offside, just, it's a trade. Investment's going to be long-term, okay. Okay, we pray. But it's like it's going down, and he's looking at Ethereum like, man, you guys got to fix some stuff. And that's why I think how it ties into pDAI is Richard's worst case for Ethereum. It's no longer, I guess, $17,000. So I just threw a number out there. We never knew what it was. I think he's downgraded it. Okay, so that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like this was years ago, right? He thought Ethereum, you're going to get to like, your 17K. But after this garbage, when he saw it reverse down, he's probably like, you know what? Maybe your worst case is only 8K now, $8,000. So what does that mean? Well, if you're holding 170,000 Ethereum, that means you have $1 billion of cash less to make. So if you have 170,000 ETH, and if Ethereum goes to $8,000, you got 1.3 billion, right? But if Ethereum goes to like $17,000, you got 2.9 billion. So there you go. It's about $1.5 billion. I'll write that number here for you, friends. So that's $1.5 billion purchasing power less. Maybe he had a realization about how the cycle's going. That's why I'm just speculating. Could be wrong. Okay. That's where it like kind of ties into all of these. But that's all everyone was saying. They're never going to fix it. They're going to get cucked. Soylana wins. That's what they were saying. I'm thinking, no, I don't think so, bro. Let's continue with Kain on his next comments.
How long would it take to make ETH a competitive L1?
I think to get L1 competitive, you need to bring some applications back to it. Synthetix, the project that I founded, is going to come back to the L1. We were the first ones to go to Optimism in 2019. We're coming back. So that is going to create block space demand on L1 directly, as opposed to indirectly through blob space.
So why abandon the L2 roadmap?
I think for me, there's 2 things that failed. One is we created an environment where it's unclear to an investor which token to buy. Do you buy Arbitrum? Do you buy Optimism? Do you buy some coin token on base? It's not obvious, right? The second thing is that we've created an issue of block space where the margin for block production is being captured by L2s, not the L1. So we need to bring activity back to L1 to increase the margin that block production is generating for Ethereum.
But when you
So this is literally Richard Hart talking points, by the way. He said them. He goes, send postcards, everybody! Send all the postcards in the world! He literally said that. But also, friends, not just him. Ivan, everybody else was sharing all the analysis. That, yeah, all the margin, Ethereum is just bleeding out all the profitability out here. But yeah, Richard Hart put it really, really funny. I forgot which example he used. Something like, oh, you expand the business, you get more users. Like, I think Richard's example, I forgot what he used, but it's like, oh, smart. It's like, oh, you can like expand users, like, oh, you can sell like, oh, maybe you only sell like 1,000 cars a year. Oh, but now you found the way to sell 20,000 cars a year, but you've outsourced to 19,000, and then like they're basically taking away money. I think it ends up working out where literally you are making more money just if you sell the 1,000 cars. I forgot what it was. The example he was very, very eloquent. But just driving home the point, fans. Also, this ties in a bit to Soy Bankman-Fried. Soy Bankman-Fried, when it was running FTX, I know not the greatest example. Like, everyone's gonna be like, because there's like, there's a lot of cucumber consumption there and a lot of soy on those bean bags. But they would think long and hard, very family friendly, about hiring anybody. Okay, anybody new. They're really concerned about like their margins because like they did not want to just like keep adding people for the sake of it. They liked the fact, oh, we only hire like 13 people for something. They really liked the fact. They didn't like the idea of like, oh, let's just have like 500 people. We employ this many people, because they end up, most of them being useless. I remember in Soy Bankman-Fried, one of his interviews, he's always like, yeah, in most companies, 80% of people are literally just there to keep the lights on. Most people are just there, right? Yeah, so tying into Ethereum, friends, it's interesting, yeah? Synthetix. So obviously Synthetix, it's a wrecked chart. It looks like it's literally like the hex chart, right? Just like down everything, right? But if there's a return to DeFi, these are like the embers that they'll be lit from, which is pretty cool, okay? Once again, Putting it in your face. Where is my Ethereum pump? Keep going, Ethereum. Higher, higher. So, at least you know they're listening now. Yeah, and by the way, they're always listening, man. They're always, it just takes time to kind of like, you know, figure stuff out. What's the exact roadmap? Everyone's like, because we're just like, fix it, make it go up, make it go up. You can't, bro, you can't. It's a business cycle, man. It's just like, there's not enough demand to cover everything, you know? And everyone's like, oh, but do what Solana did. And then I'm like, I've got videos coming out for you. Just tell you, like, most of it was random. Okay, so it's like, Phantom Wallet chose Solana for whatever reason. In another world, Phantom chooses freaking Sonic Chain, and then they go up, you know? So it's not what people think, man. And by the way, we all win when there's all friendship and kindness in the business cycle going up with global liquidity continuing to rise. Now, how much can Ethereum bring it back? I think we're going back around that ETH BTC 0.05. I hope it's higher, man. Just like a retracement on everything out here. But yeah, don't believe the Fugazi narrative. Let's finish it off with some Kain.
Bring the people back to the L1.
Yeah.
The L1's still going to be slow.
No, it's actually much faster than it was. It's much faster than it was, and there's a very clear path to scaling it. We can raise the block size. There's a number of things that we can do, and we also have just better technology. We have like off-chain batch settlement. It's not the same network that it was in 2019. It's gotten better.
What's your views?
So interesting. He's talking about like they have these alternatives. Just that you gotta remember, it's in Ethereum. Ethereum's playing the game against Bitcoin. It's just them two. Okay. Ethereum wants to be the money. So Ethereum, they're just like a bit slower. They want more decentralization stuff because like if Bitcoin guys like, you'll never be decentralized like me, Ethereum. And it gets to them. Okay. They get to them. You know, when you're in any other altcoin, if someone says you'll never be decentralized, no one cares, bro. If you're like some like cracker meme coin, you didn't give a crap about, decentralization. By the way, you probably are more decentralized than most chains out there, but you know what I mean? It's not like really what you're concerned about. But yeah, all these multifaceted issues are cranking on. I just want to give you that optimism that, no pun intended, things are working away. It was interesting when Kain as well, he said, it's confusing investors which token to buy. Told you. We done told you, brother. Okay. They need one coin. One coin, one vision. Okay. They need one. Yeah. So it's hard. We can't live in a world where let's split the pie 50,000 ways. Then everybody loses. You know what I mean? You have to make a decision somewhere. So how do they balance that? I guess they're going to figure it out. We might find there's a vibe shift when Ethereum goes up again because people are going to say, hey, you see why you're going up? Because you stopped drinking soy. Because you're not looking at these layer 2 junk, these parasite vultures. That's what the market's going to try. Everyone's going to say and just force it into them and be like, no, they're losers. You failed. Don't ever do that again. Don't ever do it. That's what they'll be throwing it out here. Once again, Richard Hart talking points. Right? When it comes to that, all the layer 1 chains though, you got to remember, friends, as well. Ethereum going up is going to crank it, even for outskirt cities. All right, so it's everything goes up in the business cycle. Yeah, it's kind of like when the world economy is going up. Yeah, people can buy from every single nation out here. Okay, we all go up together. So that's very, very important. It's not so for all new people. I know it's tough for you. It's Ethereum. It's literally like a hose just watering a garden. Okay, everyone gets watered. Yeah, and there's photosynthesis and the sun comes out, everything's shining. Okay, it's not like ETH one coin and everything else loses. Okay, it's the heart of a city. That's exactly what we're here to do. Don't forget, it loves you. Like, subscribe. Catch you soon.